Welcome back to In Response EDH. As always, I'm your host Albert, and I'm glad you can join us for another great Commander gameplay video. On today's episode, we have a game featuring some of our Discord members, and new to the channel, Jay and Eli. Jay has brought with him one of the strongest commanders to come out of Ikoria, Winota, Joiner of Forces. This deck wants to produce a lot of non-human tokens to take full advantage of Winota's ability to cheat into play the more expensive and powerful humans in the deck. This allows Jay to get out of hand pretty quickly, so the table better be ready with some board wipes to deal with him. Eli is also playing a powerful and popular commander, the Dragon. This is a dragon tribal deck that benefits from his commander's eminence ability to get his clan of dragons out a little sooner, by way of cost reduction. Once it's out on the field, he's going to be taking huge chunks of life away from opponents, all while cheating into play even more scary permanents with the Dragon's second ability. Aaron from the AUG's podcast and YouTube channel is back, and he's also playing a Dragon Tribal deck, this time led by Kenrith, the Return King. This commander is one of the best toolbox commanders in the game. It does dang near everything you need, but Graveyard Recursion is the one you need to watch out for when playing against this build. And lastly, there's me. Apparently I didn't get the memo to bring a powerful and popular commander, but I did bring a playful one, Otrimi, the Ever Playful. This is just my casual mutate deck. The goal is to mutate onto one of the many hexproof or unblockable creatures it runs, to keep the board clear with sack and bounce effects while I chip in for damage. Or I can always just mutate a big creature onto a Scute Swarm for some really good times. While it's definitely not the most powerful commander Sultai has to offer, it can definitely hold its own, especially since I'm the one playing it. Before we get started, we would like to remind you, if you enjoy our content and would like to support the channel, consider becoming a patron. When you do, you're not only contributing to the channel's growth, but you're also being entered in our monthly giveaways, as well as receiving patron-only perks. All proceeds of our Patreon are reinvested back into the channel to bring you the best content possible. We would also like to thank our sponsor, Dragon Shield. Hit the link in the description of this video to check out the best product out there to protect your cardboard. You can also support the channel by using our affiliate link when purchasing product and singles at TCG Player. With that said, and the introductions out of the way, let's start the game. Aaron gets to go first today.
It's okay, I drew a one-land hand, so here we go. Stomping grounds, here we go.
All right,
I went to 6.
I'm gonna flex it. I'm gonna flex on you and claim that I got a 5-land hand. Pass it.
Eli then draws for turn and plays
the most powerful card in Magic, an island.
He then taps the island and plays a wizard class, giving him no maximum hand size.
Okay, guys,
And I'll play
you
go.
can't swan song us.
Yeah.
I then drop a Windswept Heath on the field and immediately tap it and sack it to search up a Zagoth Triome. Aaron draws for turn.
Oh boy. Pass turn.
Jay then starts his turn and plays a Plains. He then taps both lands to sacrifice the Wayfarer's Bauble and searches up another Plains to the battlefield. Eli plays an Exotic Orchard and doesn't have a follow-up play and passes. I then draw for turn and play a tapped Overgrown Tomb and pass.
Draw. Yippee.
That's right, you just heard a grown man say yippee after finding a basic swamp. He then taps out to cast a Strionic Resonator and passes. Now we go to Jay as he plays another mountain. Jay then pays 3 mana to cast a Mentor the Meek and passes to Eli. Eli draws and plays a basic swamp as his land for turn. He then taps out to cast a Dark Steel Ingot, and with nothing else, ends his turn. I draw my card and drop a basic forest on the field. I then tap out to play the most difficult card in my deck to keep track of, a Scute Swarm. Turn 4 starts with Aaron missing another land drop and thinking about his terrible decision to keep a 1-lander. Jay on the other hand plays land number 5. He then taps 3 mana to cast Professional Facebreaker. Ping an additional 1 as it enters to draw a card with the Mentor the Meek. He then moves to combat and swings the Mentor at Aaron for 2 damage. This triggers the Facebreaker and he creates a treasure token. After that, he passes. Eli draws for turn and misses a land drop. but still has enough mana to pay for one of the actual strongest cards in Magic, a Smothering Tithe. I then draw for turn, refusing to pay the Tithe tax, and play a Tide Channel Pathway. This will trigger the Scootswarm's landfall ability, and I create a 1/1 insect, represented with my deck divider. After that, I tap 3 to cast the Lifecrafter's Bestiary, and with nothing else, end my turn. Aaron then draws and is asked whether he'll pay the tax.
Yeah, I will actually. And then I'll move to discard.
Oh my god.
Teamer into my graveyard. Here you go.
Jay then draws and lets us know he definitely will not be paying his taxes, and Eli gets to make another treasure. He then taps 3 to cast a Legion War Boss. After that, he taps 3 lands and cracks his treasure to cast his commander, Winota, Joiner of Forces. He then moves to combat, and his War Boss will trigger, creating him a 1/1 Goblin with haste, which has to attack. He then declares his attackers, sending the Goblin at Eli, the Facebreaker at me, and the Mentor at Aaron. I choose not to block, and as they deal damage, the Facebreaker will trigger, giving him 3 treasures since 3 opponents were dealt damage. Eli draws and plays a Polluted Delta. He then announces Jay is starting to get a little out of control already, and cracks some treasure to help pay for a Crux of Fate, choosing to destroy all non-dragons on the field.
Because it does matter, I did miss my Winota trigger with this goblin, so I'm going to take that quick, just so there's a human on field that gets destroyed.
Alright.
Because it does matter. So I'm sorry about that.
That's fine.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I missed, so you're good.
After that, he cracks his fetch for a ᴑɪᴜᴅᴜ and ends his turn. I start my turn by scrying the top card of my library to the bottom with the Bestiary. I then draw a card and don't pay the Tithe tax. I then play another forest, and follow that up by casting Thrun, the Last Troll. I do pay an additional green mana to draw a card with the Bestiary, again not paying the tax. After that, Aaron, I'm done, so go ahead and continue missing your land drops.
There we go.
You want to just go to your discard phase?
Oh my god.
You pay, you pay the 2?
Oh my god.
I'll throw old Gnawbone into my graveyard.
No.
You will not pay the 2?
Yeah. I'll play a Windscarred Crag to gain a life.
All that mana, not paying the 2. Over here, I'm just paying 2.
Hey, Derry, I want to help you out in some way. Would having access to all colors of mana help you?
I'm in a 5-color deck.
Okay. So I'm just gonna turn off one of your lands, but it's gonna make all colors instead. So what's the dual land that's hiding underneath your swamp?
Stomping Ground.
Okay, Stomping Ground. Well, that's now Alpine Mooned.
Okay.
So it has no abilities, but instead can tap for any color of mana.
Huh, that's cool.
Okay. I will then pay 2 for a Genesis Chamber and pay 2 more for a Knight of the White Orchid. Unfortunately, nobody controls more lands than me. I don't see why this is possible when I'm against the green deck.
Got him!
So I don't get to search my library for planes. And I get to make a mirror token, which I actually don't believe I have any. So let me...
While Jay goes searching for a token he can use, Eli draws for turn and pays 3 mana to cast everyone's favorite card.
A heuristic study.
Come on, guys.
I'm gonna crack the 2 treasures. And
let's just not play any spells and always pay the 2. Let's just do that first.
Yeah, dude.
He then cracks his treasures to cast a Decanter of Endless Water, to really give him no maximum hand size. I again start by scrying the top card of my library and decide to keep it there and draw it this turn, again not paying my taxes and giving Eli another treasure. I then play a ᴅᴏᴀᴜ Coast as my land drop, and tap 3 to cast Trigon Predator. But I do pay an additional 1 for the study tax. I'll pay the 1 green for Lifecrafter's Bestiary to draw a card.
You gonna pay the 2?
Oh shit, no. As it enters, the Genesis Chamber triggers and I get a 1/1 mirror token. I then end my turn. Aaron finally finds his 3rd land and plays a command tower. This time he didn't pay the Tithe tax and Eli makes another treasure. He then taps out to cast Buried Alive, and Eli gets to draw a card since Aaron can't pay for the study tax. Aaron then searches up 3 creatures and puts them in his graveyard, those being Ayo the Dawn Sky, Dockside Extortionist, and Junji the Midnight Sky. Jay then draws and pays his taxes, and casts Lena, Selfless Champion, paying for the study tax. As she enters the battlefield, Jay gets to make 2 1/1 soldiers, as well as another mirror. With nothing else, he passes. Eli draws for turn and plays another swamp as his land drop. He then chooses to sack his treasures, floating 3 blue mana to help pay for a Kindred Discovery, choosing dragons as it enters. He then taps 4 mana thanks to his commander's Eminence ability to cast Sunscorched Regent. As it enters, it triggers the Kindred Discovery and he draws another card. This also triggers the Genesis Chamber and he creates a 1/1 mirror as well. After that, he ships the turn to me. I then start by scrying a card to the bottom of my library and drawing for turn, again not paying the tax. I begin by tapping 1 blue mana for Aqueous Form, enchanting my Trigon Predator to make it unblockable. I then waste no time swinging at Eli. But as I do, Eli remembers the Rhystic Study and I just pay the 1. He then takes 2 damage and I destroy the Smothering Tithe with my creature's triggered ability. I then get to scry a card with the Aqueous Form and send the card to the bottom. On my second main phase, I tap out to cast a Beast Whisperer, not paying the study tax and making a mirror token when it enters. With no more plays, I pass the turn. Aaron then draws.
Holy shnikes, guys.
He then drops an Evolving Wilds, and then casts an Eternal Witness, without paying the study tax.
Eli, don't forget your Sunscorched triggers.
True, so that would be...
2 from me. I did the Aqueous Form, and after we get caught up with the missed triggers, Aaron makes a 1/1 mirror from the Genesis Chamber, but apparently none of us have mirror tokens available, so he uses a squirrel instead.
My target with Eternal Witness will be, I guess, Dockside. And I'll crack my Evolving Wilds.
I need to figure out how to get my camera up higher because I'm starting to run out of space again.
What a problem to have. Look at all these permanents.
I know.
Jay then plays a Plains here, and I'll just let him explain his turn.
2. I'm going to replay Winota.
Alright, will you pay the 1?
I will, in fact, pay the 1.
Alrighty.
2, 1. This guy's Summoning Sickness. So, Mr. Eli, I'm sure you can understand that you are far and above the rest of us in annoyance. So, I'm going to swing both of my soldiers and both of my mirrors at you, but I have some attack triggers to resolve first. 4 of them to be precise.
Okay.
3, 4.
That was kind of
5,
harsh.
6. I cannot believe it, but apparently, despite my efforts to power shuffle, I hit a human pocket of 4 humans. So I can only pick one of them. So I guess I'll just pump myself a bit. Despite wanting to play Mina Harker, I'll play Captain of the Watch.
Alright.
Which will increase the power and toughness of my soldiers by 1, and it will make 3 more soldiers.
Okay.
The yellow dice is to represent what's not attacking.
Okay.
Okay. And then that will make another mirror when it enters. And that'll be tapped and attacking once again you. It has indestructible. I'm going to do the next one. This takes a bit. Next one will be a Cathar Commando, which will also be attacking you. That happens. Another one of these. That's a miss. And my last trigger. My favorite human, Guy's Honored Monk.
That one's power and toughness is equal to the creatures you control?
And makes 2 spirits. on enter. 19. I'm swinging my 1919 indestructible Geist Honored Monk at Eli, along with my 3-1 Cathar. Wait, not 3-1. My 4-2 Cathar Commando, my 3-3 Captain of the Watch, and two 1/1 mirrors and 2/2 soldiers. 32 damage at you.
Alright, I will block the 1919 then with the mirror. I will block one of the mirrors with my Sunscorch Regent.
Eli then takes 12 damage. Before he ends his turn, Jay pays 1 mana and sacrifices the Cathar Commando to destroy Eli's Kindred Discovery. Eli then draws for turn and plays the Command Tower as his land drop. He then taps out and cracks the last of his treasure to cast his commander, the Ur-Dragon. After that, Eli decides to move to combat and swings his 8/7 Sunscorch Regent at Jay. This will trigger the Ur-Dragon, allowing him to draw a card and put a permanent from his hand onto the field.
Jeez.
Hey, Aaron, stay quiet, man. Maybe they won't see us.
And I will play Earthquake Dragon. And I say go.
All right.
That converted mana cost is ridiculous.
I then scry the top card and decide to draw it. Hey, Aaron, since they're picking on each other, I'm going to pick on you. I'm going to go combat, and I'm going to swing Trigon Predator your way.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to blow up your Strionic Resonator.
Okay, dude.
Yeah, well, I don't want you having double treasures off your dock side.
How mean of you.
I know.
Yeah.
I then follow that up by casting a Slippery Bogle, making another mirror token as it enters, and Eli remembers his as well. After that, I decide to mutate my commander Otrimi onto the Slippery Bogle. With nothing else, I pass to Aaron. Aaron then untaps and draws for turn. He then pays 2 mana to cast a Dockside Extortionist. Thanks to all the mirror tokens on the field from the Genesis Chamber, this creates 17 treasures for Aaron.
I'm gonna sack 5. So I go down to 12 treasures. And I'll cast my commander. Let's see. It's the return thing with Kenrith. I'll target Temur Sabertooth.
Broken stuff right here.
If you guys don't have anything to do with that, I'm gonna get infinite treasures.
Yeah, I don't have a response to that, unfortunately.
Then I will bring back Old Gnawbone, Ao, Junji, and then I'll give them all trample and haste and put +1/+1 counters on them until I have enough to deal lethal to all of you.
Dang.
Yeah.
And I'll swing all 1 at each one of you.
Yeah.
That's it, man. Damn, and he missed land drops. You see? You always kill Aaron. Just for the lulz.
Sandbagging motherfucker! No, for real though, I pulled that out of my ass.
Not bad, man. As much as I hate to say it, congratulations, Aaron. You did it. You finally got a win. It only took forever, but you did it. I'm pretty sure most of the game he was really regretting the decision to keep a 1-land opener, but once he was able to bin the Dockside and a few big flyers with the Buried Alive, I'm sure he knew with all the mirror tokens being created, he was going to be able to get right back into the game and win. But knowing him, if given the chance, I'm sure he wouldn't play it any differently. Now for the rest of us. My deck is a bit more on the casual side, but can compete with tuned decks. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to find any mutate payoffs, and it was a bit too slow this time. Jay definitely had a great game. His deck was firing on all cylinders, and he was able to spread quite a bit of damage around the table, as well as help me deal with Eli's value engine. But Aaron's combo finish out of nowhere most likely robbed him of a victory this time. Eli also had a great showing, assembling his value engine very early, but it did put a big target on his back, and with good reason. Unfortunately for him, it wasn't quite enough to get him the win this time. Well, that's it for this episode. If you enjoyed this game, consider stopping by our Twitch streams for Salty Tier Tuesdays every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and Fridays at 7 Pacific Standard Time for live Commander action. Make sure to like the video and leave a comment, and if you aren't already subscribed, hit the subscribe button. Before we go, we'd like to give a big thank you to our amazing patrons. We are glad to have your support and thankful for each and every one of you. We here at In Response would like to thank you for watching. Please make sure to like and subscribe, and make sure you follow us on our social medias. We also stream every Friday night at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Thank you for watching. Have an awesome day.